Today, we're crocheting a granny square scarf. Each side has one big granny square with 5 small ones. The center is mainly worked in double crochet, alternating different color combinations. Additionally, there is one side includes 3 small granny squares. Let's demonstrate how to make it. Here are the materials and tools used in this kit: 19 colors yarn, 3.5mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, and several stitch markers. First, let's go over how to make the large granny square. Start with the pink yarn and make a magic ring. Hold the yarn and wrap it around your fingers twice. Then wrap the yarn to your pinky finger and transfer the ring to the other hand. Take the 3.5mm crochet hook and insert it through the large loop. Pull the yarn through to create a loop on the hook. Then yarn over and pull it through the loop, forming a V shape. This is a chain stitch. Now crochet one more chain stitch as the turning chain. These are 2 chain stitches. Next, we will crochet a half double crochet stitch, yarn over, and use your middle finger to hold the 2 loops in place. Insert the hook into the large loop and pull the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops at once. That completes 1/2 double crochet stitch. After completing the stitch, pull the loop slightly longer. Use a stitch marker to mark the position of this chain stitch. Next, crochet 2 chain stitches. Next, we will crochet 2 half double crochet stitches. Then, crochet 2 chain stitches again. We treat 2 half double crochet stitches and 2 chain stitches as one group. Now crochet 2 more groups. After crocheting, pull up the loop slightly. Then, find the reserved yarn tail and gently pull it to see which yarn moves. Pull the moving yarn in the opposite direction to close the center hole until it's nearly gone. Finally, pull the yarn tail to tighten and close it completely. Now the hole in the center is gone. Insert the crochet hook back into the loop to continue. Next, we'll make a slip stitch. Remove the stitch marker and remember the marked spot. Tuck the yarn tail to the back. Insert the hook into that stitch. Pull the yarn through both the stitch and the loop on the hook. Stretch out the loop tightly to make the V-stitch small as much as possible. The slip stitch is complete. This stitch will not be counted as a normal stitch. The first round of crochet is complete. Cut the yarn and pull the loop out. For round 2, we'll change the yarn color. Make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end and set it aside. Now, take a look at the first round. It forms a square with a large hole at each corner. For round 2, we'll start by inserting the hook into one of these corner spaces. Insert the hook into one of the large corner spaces. Position the yarn tail behind the fabric. Place the blue yarn on the hook and pull the yarn through the large hole. Start by crocheting 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Next, crochet 7 double crochets into the same stitch. To make a double crochet, yarn over first, with 2 loops on the hook. Insert the hook into the large hole. Pull the yarn through. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops, leaving 2 loops. Yarn over one more time and pull through the remaining 2 loops. That completes 1 double crochet stitch. Next, crochet 6 more double crochets into the same stitch. Let's count the stitches. There are 7 double crochets, plus the initial 3 chain stitches, making a total of 8 posts. In the second corner space, crochet 8 double crochets. Do the same in the third and fourth corner spaces, 8 double crochets in each. After crocheting 8 double crochets into the last large hole, we will join the first 3 chain stitches we made at the beginning. Gently separate them, and you can see the large hole. Now make a slip stitch to close the round, then cut the blue yarn. For round 3, we'll use light pink yarn. Make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end and set it aside. Then, take out the piece you just finished. We can see that each corner now has a curved shape. For round 3, we'll insert the hook into each V-shaped stitch. The first entry point is at the position of the 3 chain stitches. Insert the hook into the large hole, yarn over, and pull the yarn through. Here we need to crochet 1 chain stitch as the turning chain. In the same spot, we'll make a single crochet. To do this, insert the hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. There are now 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through both loops. That completes the single crochet stitch. Use a stitch marker to mark this as the first stitch of the 3rd round. For the second stitch, find the column of the double crochet. The corresponding V-stitch is at the top right of the stitch. Next, we will crochet in this stitch. Crochet the second single crochet here. Next, crochet 6 more single crochets, 1 in each corresponding V-stitch. Now we've crocheted 8 single crochets. Pull up the loop and cut the yarn tail. For the 9th one, insert the hook into the large space between the 2 half double crochets from round 1, right between the stitch columns. Insert the hook into the space, pull the yarn through, and pull up the loop. Make the loop slightly longer than usual. Yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops. This is the 9th single crochet. We will make a long single crochet at every 9th stitch. Then, for the following stitch, find the next corresponding spot and make a regular single crochet. Starting from this position, crochet 8 single crochets. For the next 9th stitch, crochet a long single crochet. Repeat this process 3 times to complete all the stitches. After finishing the last long single crochet, remove the stitch marker and make a slip stitch to join it with the first single crochet. Then cut off the yarn. Now let's start round 4. Take out the green yarn and make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end. To find the entry point, look at the slip stitch we just made. Move 1 stitch back to locate the long single crochet. Insert the hook into that stitch to begin. Pull the yarn through, and then crochet 3 chain stitches. Now we're going to crochet 3 treble crochets. Let me show you how. Yarn over twice. You should now have 3 loops on the hook. Use your middle finger to hold the loops in place. Next, insert the hook into the stitch and hook the yarn through. Now there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through the next 2 loops, leaving 2 loops. Yarn over 1 last time and pull through the remaining 2 loops. That completes the treble crochet stitch. In the same stitch, crochet 2 more treble crochet stitches. Now that we've finished the stitch, let's move on. Gently pull up the loop and see where to insert next. We'll skip the next 2 stitches, then make a single crochet into the 3rd stitch. After making 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, skip 2 stitches. You'll reach the long single crochet. In that same stitch, crochet the following: 4 treble crochets, 2 chain stitches, and then 4 more treble crochets. Let me show you how to do it. Skip the next 2 stitches. Then make 1 single crochet in each of the following 4 stitches. Cut the yarn tails and insert the hook back into the loop. Skip 2 stitches, then begin crocheting into the 3rd stitch. This is a long single crochet from previous round. Crochet 4 treble crochets. Two chain stitches, then 4 more treble crochets. When complete, a corner has been formed. Next, skip 2 stitches and make 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. After crocheting 4 single crochets, skip the next 2 stitches. In the 3rd stitch, crochet 4 treble crochets, 2 chain stitches, and then 4 more treble crochets. Then, continue following the same pattern until you reach the last stitch. After making 4 single crochets, skip 2 stitches. You'll arrive back at the starting point of the 1st stitch. In this stitch, crochet 4 treble crochets and 2 chain stitches. Now, make a slip stitch to end the round. Insert the hook at the beginning of the round, where the 3 chain stitches were first made. Tighten the loop, cut the yarn. For the next round, take the yellow yarn and make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end. Set the loop aside. In this round, we'll crochet 1 single crochet into each stitch. At each of the 4 corners, crochet the following: 1 single crochet, 2 chain stitches, and another single crochet in the same stitch. Repeat this pattern throughout the round. For this round, the entry point is right next to the slip stitch we just made, at the 2 chain stitches on this side. Insert the hook into that space, then pull the yellow yarn loop through. Crochet 1 chain stitch as the turning chain. Then, make a single crochet in the same space. Use a stitch marker to mark this as the first single crochet of the round. Next, make a single crochet into the stitch where we previously made the slip stitch. This is the spot where the 3 chain stitches were located. Next, crochet 1 single crochet into each corresponding stitch from the previous round. Remember to tuck the yarn tails at the back so we can conceal it while crocheting. You can now cut off the yarn end. At the top corner, crochet 1 single crochet, 2 chain stitches, and another single crochet in the same stitch. Continue crocheting 1 single crochet in each of the following stitches, and 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and 1 single crochet in each corner. Now we get back to the first corner. Crochet 1 single crochet into it. Then make 2 chain stitches. Remove the marker and make a slip stitch. Pull the loop tight and cut off the yarn. Next, let's start round 6. Make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end. Rounds 6 and 7 are crocheted the same way as round 5. Crochet 1 single crochet into each stitch. When you reach the top corners, make 1 single crochet, 2 chain stitches, and another single crochet in the same stitch. Let me show you how. In this round, insert the hook into the space created by the 2 chain stitches. Go through the large hole and pull the loop through. Chain 1, make a single crochet, then mark it with a stitch marker. Put the hook back to the loop and tighten it. Continue crocheting single crochets 1 by 1 into the corresponding stitches. Cut off the yarn tail. At the corner, make 1 single crochet, chain 2, then make another single crochet. Then keep crocheting single crochet in each stitch. And use the same pattern to crochet until the end. After finishing the last stitch, Move back to the first big hole, crochet 1 single crochet, chain 2. Remove the marker and make a slip stitch at this stitch. Tighten the loop and cut off the yarn. For round 7, use the instructed yarn and make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end. Insert the hook into the corner beside the slip stitch and pull the loop through. As before, crochet single crochets 1 by 1 into the corresponding stitches. At each corner, make 1 single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet in the same space. Place a stitch marker at this spot. Crochet single crochets 1 by 1 into each corresponding stitch. After completing the last single crochet, move to the first large space and make another single crochet. Then, crochet 2 chain stitches. Pull the loop long and slip stitch into the first single crochet marked with a stitch marker. Tighten the loop. Cut off the yarn. Refer to the color table to crochet the other squares in the same way. Next, we'll move on to the small granny square motifs. To begin, we'll make a magic ring. Hold the yarn in one hand and wrap it around your finger twice, creating 2 loops. Use your other hand to hold the yarn, then transfer the loops to this hand. Grip the bottom of the loops firmly to keep them secure. Grab the crochet hook and insert it into the large loop. Hook the yarn and pull it through, and you'll see a loop now on the crochet hook. Then yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop on the hook. This will create a V-shaped stitch. This forms our first chain stitch. Then we continue with 2 more chain stitches. After completing 3 chain stitches, we have 3 V-shaped stitches. Now we're going to crochet a double crochet stitch. Let me show you how to do it. Yarn over so you have 2 loops on the crochet hook. Then insert the hook into the large loop and hook the yarn, pulling it through. Now you should have 3 loops on the crochet hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops on the crochet hook, leaving 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. This completes our first double crochet stitch, creating another V-shaped stitch. Then we repeat the process to make another double crochet stitch. With 2 double crochet stitches complete, we now have 3 vertical columns. Then crochet 2 chains. Next we crochet 3 more double crochet stitches, followed by 2 chain stitches. We create a group of 3 double crochet stitches and 2 chains, and then repeat this group 2 more times. Stretch out the loop and let's take a look at the piece. There are 4 sets of 3 vertical column stitches and 2 chains. Now let's close the magic ring. Find the short yarn tail. Gently pull the yarn tail to locate the thread that moves. Then, pull this movable thread in the opposite direction to close the hole. And then we pull the yarn tail again to close the loop. Cut off the short tail. Next, locate the first large hole and make a slip stitch to close this round. Stretch out the loop and cut off the yarn. The first round of the granny square is complete. Now, let's move on to the second round. For the second round, switch to blue yarn. Leave a 4 inches yarn tail and tie a single knot. Locate the first large hole next to the slip stitch position and insert the hook into this hole. Place the blue loop onto the hook, pinch the crochet piece, and press the yarn tail to the back. Hook the loop out of the big hole, then crochet 3 chain stitches. Follow that with 2 double crochet stitches in the same hole. Now, with 3 vertical columns in this hole, continue by making 2 chain stitches. Then repeat by crocheting 3 more double crochet stitches into the same hole. During the crochet process, press the yarn tail to the back of the piece to secure it in place. After completing 3 double crochet stitches, the 2 chains between the double crochet stitches form a corner, creating a corner of the square shape. Next, crochet 3 double crochet stitches into the next large hole. Continue with 2 chain stitches, followed by 3 double crochet stitches. Let's take a look at the piece. We create a group consisting of 3 double crochet stitches, 2 chain stitches, and 3 double crochet stitches. Crochet this group into each of the 4 big holes to form a square shape. Cut off the yarn tail. Continue crocheting the stitches group into the remaining 2 holes. Finally, make a slip stitch with the first hole to close this round. Cut off the yarn. Let's crochet the final round. Make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end. Insert the hook into the space next to the slip stitch. Then, pull the loop through. Crochet 1 chain stitch as the turning stitch. In the same space, make a single crochet. Then, pull the loop slightly longer and mark it with a stitch marker. Next, crochet 2 single crochets, 1 in each corresponding stitch. When reach the corner, crochet a single crochet, followed by a chain stitch, and then another single crochet. Pull up the loop and cut the yarn tails. Next, crochet 1 single crochet into each corresponding stitch. At the corner, make 1 single crochet, chain 1, then another single crochet in the same space. Repeat this pattern until the end. After crocheting the last single crochet, slip stitch into the first marked stitch. Tighten the loop and cut the yarn. We use the same method to crochet these small granny squares in the different color combinations. Please refer to the color table. In total, there are 13 squares. Arrange the large and small granny squares according to the color layout. Then join them together. Start by connecting the small granny squares to each other. Once they're joined, attach the large squares to the small ones. The chain stitch between the 2 single crochets at the corner marks the top point. place a stitch marker there. Do the same for the chain stitch on the other side. Use this method to mark and connect the top points of the small granny squares. Connect these two corners as well. When connecting the squares, always sew through the back, which is the wrong side. Turn the piece over, and now we can begin the seam. Make a slip knot about 2 to 2.5 inches from the end of the yarn. When connecting, check the positions marked by the stitch marker. Remember both points, then remove the marker. Insert the sewing needle into the back loops of the stitches that were previously marked. Then, pass the needle through the space where the slip knot was made. After pulling the needle through, tighten the yarn end. We'll be sewing through the back loops. Lay the yarn end on top and stitch through each corresponding loop, working your way toward the top point. Once you reach the top point, sew through it again to secure the stitch. Then, tie a knot to fasten the yarn and weave in the end on the back side. Gently pull the yarn to tighten and trim off the excess. We will use the same method to connect the others as well. Using the same joining method, connect the 2 sets of L-shaped pieces and the set of 3 square pieces. Next, we will connect the small granny squares to the large ones. The top point of the small granny square will be connected to the first chain stitch along the bottom edge of the large granny square. Line up the stitches on each side of the small granny square with the stitches on the large square, one by one. At the bottom corner of the large square, the lower chain stitch connects to the 2 back loops where the small squares below are joined. Then connect the upper chain stitch at the bottom corner of the large square to the 2 joined back loops of the 2 small squares beside. The first chain stitch from bottom to up will connect to the chain stitch on the small granny square on the same side. After marking the points, flip the piece over and use the same method to connect them with a yarn needle. Pull the yarn through the hole and make a knot. Connect the pieces one by one, matching each corresponding point. Be sure to connect the top points marked with stitch markers. Cut off the yarn end that has been secured. Next, we have reached the corners of the small granny squares. Since the back loops has already been connected, it's easy to see the half stitch. Connect each back loop to its corresponding stitch at the large square. Then continue connecting. Remove the lower marker. Connect the marked back loops. Cut off the yarn tail. Next, connect the marked back loop on this small square to the same back loop we just threaded. Then, remove the marker and thread the needle through the same back loop of the small square and the back loop of the upper corner chain on the large square. Turn the piece over. Then connect the back loop of the next small square on this side to the back loop of the chain stitch on the large piece that we connected earlier. This completes the connection at the intersection. Next, continue joining each corresponding stitch one by one. At the top point, sew through it twice to secure the connection. Then, tie a knot and weave in the yarn ends. use the same method to connect the pieces on the other side of the scarf. Next, let's work on the main part of the scarf. Crochet 1 double crochet in each stitch, with a total of 30 double crochets in each row. First, take out the main color yarn. Make a slip knot about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end and set it aside. Then, take your crochet piece and insert the hook into the large space created by chains at the corner. Pull the loop through. Then, crochet 2 chain stitches. The 2 chains act as your first double crochet. Now crochet a double crochet into the next stitch. Tuck the tails up back. Next, crochet 1 double crochet into each corresponding stitch. When reach the corner of the large granny square, crochet a double crochet into the chain space. Then, make another double crochet into the seam between pieces. And finally, crochet 1 into the corner chain space of the small square. Next, continue crocheting 1 double crochet into each corresponding stitch. When reach the chain stitch at the corner, crochet a double crochet into it. This completes the first row of double crochets. Including the initial 2 chain stitches, there should be a total of 31 stitches. Next, let's crochet the second row. First, crochet 2 chain stitches as the turning stitch, which will also serve as the first stitch. Then, turn the piece over. After turning the piece over, you'll see the last double crochet from the previous row. You won't work into this stitch, since it's already represented by the 2 chain stitches. Begin crocheting double crochets from the second stitch, and continue all the way back to the starting point. Crochet a double crochet into the chain stitch at the beginning. This will be the last stitch of the row. Crochet with same color for 7 rows, and then change color on the 8th row. From there, alternate colors every 2 rows and continue crocheting in this pattern. Let's first crochet up to the 7th row. Now it's time to change the color for the next row. Tie a slip knot at the end of the yarn. Flip the piece over. Pull the green loop through the yellow yarn loop. Tighten the yellow yarn and lay the yarn end to the wrong side. Then, using the new color yarn, crochet 2 chain stitches. The crochet method for the dark green yarn is the same as before. Do not crochet into the first stitch. Start from the second stitch instead. After working a few stitches, secure the yarn end and trim off the excess. Following the color distribution in the color table, crochet 2 rows with each color before switching to the next. We'll crochet a total of 90 rows, following the color table shown in the instructions. After that, we'll connect it to the 3 small granny squares. We'll start sewing the granny squares from the back. Each granny square has a side length of 10 stitches, including the chains, and we have 31 stitches to align with. When reach the last stitch, sew through it twice to secure the connection. First, locate the corner chain and start sewing at this position. Connect with back loops. After the first stitch, you can go through it again to reinforce and secure it. Next, connect the back loops one by one. At the last corner of the small square, we will sew twice in this spot to the last 2 corresponding double crochets. First stitch with back loops only. Second one, sew through the whole stitch of the last double crochet. After securing the stitch, sew through again to reinforce it. Once it's firmly in place, tie a knot. Then, weave in the yarn ends. Cut off the yarn tail. Next, continue changing colors on the crochet piece, working 5 sets of different colors, 2 rows per set, for a total of 10 rows. After that, crochet 7 rows of the main color yarn. In the first corner chain, pull up a loop and chain 2. Then work a double crochet in the same spot. Finally, sew the granny square pieces onto the scarf, following the same method as before. After finishing the sewing, weave in the yarn ends and trim any excess. Next, let's make the tassels. Take the yellow yarn and wrap it around your hand 10 times, then cut the yarn. Then, wrap each instructed or preferred color around 4 times. After cutting the yarn, take the main color yarn and gently remove the loops from your hand without disturbing them. Pass the yarn through the center of the loops, leaving about 8 inches of yarn. Tie a knot and pull it tight, then tie a few more knots to secure it firmly. Cut the yarn tail at about 6 to 8 inches. Next, carefully cut through the center of the loops to create the tassel strands. With your other hand, wrap the yarn around the tassel about 1 inch from the top 5 or 6 times, pulling it tight as you go. Cut the yarn and tie several knots. Then, use scissors to trim the tassel to an even length, about 1.2 to 1.6 inches. Repeat this process to make a total of 4 tassels. Finally, attach the tassels to the 4 corners of the scarf and secure them in place. Then, weave the yarn tail into the stitches to hide it. Enjoy your crafting!